of Shakespeare? Lady Macbeth? Edmund? No, you're wrong. The answer is Iago in Othello. Yes, Iago is considered as the best villain in the plays of Shakespeare. The Othello is a tragedy by William Shakespeare. The whole setting of the play takes place in Venice. These are the main characters in the play. Before getting into the play, let us know about who is Othello and Desdemona. Othello is the main character in the play. A bold black man and well-respected Moorish general in Venice has instantly falls in love with a young beauty named Desdemona. Desdemona, the only daughter of Brabantio, also loved Othello because of the stories he told her about his adventures of becoming a military-man. Desdemona loves Othello for his qualities such as courage and honor. As Othello belongs to a native of North Africa, that is, a Moor, Desdemona's father will never accept for their marriage. So, the couples, that is, Othello and Desdemona, decided to get married secretly. Now, let us look into the play. As the play begins, Rodrigo, a rich man, arguing in the street of Venice with his friend Iago, who is Othello's jealous captain. Rodrigo, who is secretly in love with Desdemona, has come to know about the marriage between Desdemona and Othello. So, Rodrigo grew anger on Iago for not letting him know anything about their secret marriage. Rodrigo pays all his money and jewels to Iago in order to help him win Desdemona's heart. Meanwhile, Iago hates his military commander Othello for promoting a younger man named Cassio above him, even though Iago has more military experience. Cassio is the Othello's most loved captain, whom Iago always considers him as a less capable soldier than himself. Iago agreed to help Rodrigo, so he convinces Rodrigo to tell Desdemona's father, Brabantio, about his daughter's elopement with Othello. Brabantio finds that his daughter is indeed missing, and he gathers some officers to find Othello and Desdemona. Meanwhile, Iago sneaks away to Othello and warns him that Brabantio is coming to find him after knowing the elopement of Desdemona. In the meantime, in Othello's home, his most loved captain, Cassio, arrived with an urgent message from the Duke of Venice that the Turkish people are coming to attack their island Cyprus. Therefore, Othello is summoned by the Duke to advise the invading senators. Senators are the local governing body in Venice. Not long afterward, Desdemona's father arrives with Rodrigo and others, finds out that Othello is on his way to speak with the Duke of Venice. So, Desdemona's father decides to go along and accuses Othello before the assembled Senate. When Desdemona's father complains to Senate, Othello explains that he won Desdemona by telling her the exciting stories of military adventures. At this point, Desdemona appears before the Senate and confirms that she loves Othello and even declares that she will accompany him wherever he goes. Suddenly, Brabantio leaves saying that Desdemona will soon betray Othello too, as she left her father. He says, "Look to her, Moor, if thou hast eyes to see. She has deceived her father, and may he." By the order of Duke, Othello leaves Venice to command the Venetian armies against invading Turks on their island of Cyprus. He accompanied with his new wife Desdemona, his most loved captain Cassio, his jealous captain Iago, and Iago's wife Emilia as Desdemona's maid servant. Next day, the Turkish fleet has been destroyed by the storms. To celebrate the victory, a party has been declared that evening by Othello. In order to execute the plan that night in the party, Iago forced Cassio to drink. Then he sends Rodrigo to draw Cassio into a fight. Montano, the former governor of Cyprus, attempts to hold Cassio, but Cassio stabbed Montano. When Othello came to know that Cassio has started the fight, he lowered the rank of Cassio. Cassio is extremely upset, and Iago assures Cassio that he can get back into Othello's good graces by using Desdemona as an intermediary between himself and Othello, so that she will be sympathetic and convince her husband to regain his position. Iago now decides to make Othello suspect the relationship between Cassio and Desdemona. Emilia, wife of Iago, finds Desdemona's strawberry printed handkerchief, which is the first gift Othello gave to Desdemona as the token of love. Emilia gives the handkerchief to her husband Iago at his request, and she is unaware of what her husband plans to do with that handkerchief. Iago kept the handkerchief in Cassio's home so that it will be the evidence of Cassio and Desdemona's affair. Later, Iago has planted the seed of suspicion in the mind of Othello by insisting him to stand apart and watch Cassio's reactions while he questions him about the handkerchief. Iago talks Cassio about his affair with Bianca, but Iago speaks her name very quietly so that Othello believes that Cassio is talking about Desdemona to Iago. Bianca, on discovering the handkerchief, accuses Cassio of giving her a second-hand gift which he received from another lover. Othello sees this and Iago convinces him that Cassio has received the handkerchief from Desdemona. Enraged and hurt, Othello planned to kill his wife Desdemona and asked Iago to kill Cassio. When Othello returns, Desdemona asks him to forgive Cassio and let him have his lieutenant position back. This plus Iago's suggestions that Cassio and Desdemona are being intimate causes Othello to become jealous and angry. Meanwhile, Rodrigo complains that he has received nothing from Iago in return for his money and jewels. But Iago convinces Rodrigo to kill Cassio. Rodrigo attacks Cassio in the street where Iago comes from behind and badly cuts Cassio's leg. However, Iago manages to hide his identity in the darkness. When Cassio identifies Rodrigo as one of his attackers, Iago quietly killed Rodrigo to stop him from revealing his plan. Meanwhile, Othello stands over his sleeping wife holding a candle near their bed, preparing to kill her. The innocent Desdemona wakes and attempts to plead with Othello. All on a sudden, Emilia enters and asks Othello what happened. Othello tells Emilia that Desdemona has been murdered. Desdemona finally uttered that nobody has murdered her and says, "Nobody, I myself, farewell." Emilia calls for help. The former governor of Cyprus, Montano, arrives with Brabantio's brother Gratiano and Iago. When Othello mentions the handkerchief as a proof, Emilia realizes what Iago has done, and she exposes about her husband's evil mind, whereupon Iago is angered by this and kills his wife Emilia and then flee away. Later, Iago is caught by Desdemona's cousin Lodovico and the former governor of Cyprus, Montano. Lodovico tells Othello and Iago to surrender themselves for killing Rondrigo, Emilia, and Desdemona. Othello was crushed and begins to weep. Othello now understands clearly what has happened and how Iago manipulated him into the false belief that Desdemona and Cassio were having an affair. Finally, Othello kills himself with a sword he had hidden on his person. At last, Desdemona's father, Brabantio, will also commit suicide after knowing the death of his daughter, Desdemona. The play closes with a speech by Desdemona's cousin Lodovico. He gives Othello's house and goods to Brabantio's brother Graziano and also declares Graziano as the next successor. Finally, he orders Cassio to imprison the hellish villain Iago.